Hello. Today I'm going to demonstrate to you how to create your own liquid solution for your hydroponic. You don't need to buy online for those expensive liquid solution for your hydroponic. Now we're going to be using a fertilizer which are all water soluble. Now disclaimer, I'm not paid or advertising the product that I'm using here to demonstrate your own liquid concentrate for your hydroponic. Again, I'm not paid. I'm not here to advertise the product, but since I've been using them a couple of months now, and for me all works perfectly. So let's start. So right now we have a master blend. Now this product is, I bought it online in Amazon from a company called Gecko Grow, and it works perfectly. So did purchase the lettuce formula. So the first bag is the master blend. It has a number of 8-15-36. I'm going to explain to you later the number. Second bag contains the Epsom salt, and the third bag has this calcium nitrate, which is 15.5-0-0. Okay, so let me explain to you briefly about the numbers on the bag. So what does it mean? It's confusing even for me for the first time. So the NPK ratio for this one, or nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The 8% is the nitrogen. This is crucial for developing lush green leaves and promoting rapid growth of, this is for the vegetative stage. Now the 15% phosphorus, this one supports strong root system and the overall plant structure, which is essential for growing, essential for nutrient uptake. The last one is 36. This one represents the potassium, or the key for the NPK. Now the potassium is for plants' overall health. This is for disease resistance and ability to thrive in different conditions. Okay, so that represents the 8 nitrogen, the 15 phosphorus, and the 36 potassium. The second one, we have this Epsom salt. Now, it's not your ordinary salt that we use on the table. Now, if someone knows this difference between Epsom salt and table salt, please leave a comment. Okay. And the third one is calcium nitrate, or the 15.5-0-0. This one is a 15.5% nitrogen. This is promoting lush green vegetative growth, and it's a key component for photosynthesis. Now the phosphorus we have, this is 0, means to say we already have this one on the master blend, and the potassium as well. This is already in the master blend, so it's 15.5. This is only nitrogen. Okay, so we need a measuring scale for liquid. Now each bag has its own requirement for how much water needs to be dissolved. Now this one is only until 500 ml. Okay, it doesn't need to be like this. Anything that you could measure water would be useful. You need to have the weighing scale and something you could hold on to weigh those materials. Okay. You also need a container that could hold at least a liter of each one. Now each container has been labeled to represent each bag. Now you have here the master blend, which requires 635 ml. This one is to reduce error, so when you're dissolving the solution. Okay, the second one is your magnesium sulfate. which requires 685 ml of water. And the third one is your calcium nitrate, which requires 635 ml of water. Now you don't need to have a fancy container. These are the container from a vinegar. Now I clean it thoroughly, remove the smell and everything, clean. Now you need to have a sterilized container, but it's impossible to sterilize a plastic container just like this. You could not put hot water in it, so it will just melt the container. Again, what I did was I cleaned it thoroughly. Some dishwashing soap, some water, and clean it properly. Okay, once the smell is removed, for me I think it's all clean. Again, it's impossible to sterilize plastic container like this. These are not designed to withstand the temperature of the hot water, right? And you need to have a demineralized water. This has zero conductivity on it. Now, the reason for this is to have an accurate measurement during the creation of your water solution, okay, for your hydroponic. Again, I'm not affiliated or connected to this brand. This is the easiest way for me to have a demineralized water, and it's the only brand which is I could buy closer to my store. So yeah, demineralized water. Now we can use rainwater and snow. So, but it's still summer, so snow it's gonna be here a couple of months, and rain is not enough, and yeah, so demineralized water, right? As you can see, I have zero of everything. Okay. Yeah. Now the first one, the mustard blend, we need to have 240 grams for this. So we turn on our weighing scale, and we zero it. Now again we need grams, so 240. So I measure 240. Slowly. More. It's 240 grams. Okay. Now, for mustard blend, again, to avoid confusion, I made mistakes in the first try, so yeah, and it cost me fertilizer. I I added too much water in my first blend, so 635 ml. But the measuring cup we have is only 500 ml. So a cup of this until here, 500 ml, and roughly almost 200 ml, because I have added in 50 ml here, and yeah, the next number is 200 ml, and we need 635. So that's 150. No, my mistake. It should be lower than this, because we only need 135. So 500 plus 150, that's 650, so lower, probably halfway. Yeah, so mistakes happen, so you need to be careful. Okay, so 500, 150 to 650, lower than this, roughly, let's estimate just halfway, around 150. Okay, so we could have 635 ml. All right, so let's add more. So I already added the water. First one is 500 ml. Now, it's not a must-have, but it's best to have a funnel. I don't have a funnel here in my apartment, so this is just a piece of paper. You could use an ordinary paper. This is a wax paper laying around my house, so I'm gonna be using this to mimic a funnel. Again, make sure this container belongs to what is written on your water bottle. So let's add the fertilizer using our homemade funnel. Okay, this is a 240 muscle blend. We're not in a rush, so do it slowly. Works great. Funnel is doing its job. There we go. Works. So now you have your master blend. Now we're going to add the demineralized water. Now in order for the formula to dissolve properly, you don't need to put the water all the way in. Or sorry, you don't need to put the water all together, fully. So first you need to dissolve it. And you could feel the solution is being dissolved because the temperature outside the container, it's getting colder. Now the reason for this one is to dissolve it properly first. Now these fertilizer that we have are all water soluble. Okay? Now again, as human being, mistakes happen, so do it slowly. Okay, so I think it's partially dissolved already. So we're going to continue adding the 500 ml of water. So it's 500 ml of water. Again, to avoid a costly mistake, which happens to me a while ago. So just under 150 to have a 635 ml of water we have. Just roughly, just to estimate. I think it doesn't harm to have a little bit more. Just under. Alright. Oops. So that's halfway, 150. Okay, so when you measure liquid, the surface needs to be flat. Don't hold it up because you could have inaccurate measurement. Okay, so yeah, think that's 150. Now we have 600, roughly 635 ml of the first part, which is the master blend. Here we are. Seal it. Again, continue mixing it until it dissolves. That's 240 grams of mustard blend on a 635 ml of water. That's the first one. Okay. This needs to be dissolved properly. Okay. So when you mix this one on your nutrient solution tank, mix it again. Okay. Shake it again. Now, second one, we need to have our magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. The Epsom salt requires 685 ml of water. Okay. For the magnesium sulfate, we need to have 120 grams. So, weighing scale, 0, should be in grams. We need to have 120 grams. 120 grams. Nope. Check. Now we have 120 grams. And the water, we need to have 685. Again, this is 500 ml. So first cup is going to fill under 500 ml and just shyly under 200 ml. Okay, so we could have 685 ml. Okay, probably halfway. Right? So let's transfer our again, this is the magnesium sulfate. Again, labeling is very important to avoid confusion. Believe me, I've been there, so I'm sharing my experience to you guys. Okay, and, you don't need to have a fancy funnel. Magnesium sulfate, container number 2. Okay, so in. Just need to add water. Again, the whole thing is 2 cups. So that's it's 500 ml water. Now, best way is to put a bit of water first and dissolve it. You would hear that the sound would change as the Epsom salt has already been dissolved. You hear the slushing sound inside. It's easier to dissolve this the fertilizer with a small amount of water first. Then you need to properly dissolve the fertilizer. You can see here the Epsom salt being dissolved inside. It's easier to mix and dissolve in a small amount of water first. Now you can hear the difference between the first time you shake it and it's starting to dissolve. Now, for those guys who know the difference between Epsom salt and table salt, please leave a comment in this one. Alright, yeah, a few more left. We can continue shaking for this one after. So we add the rest of the water. Again, we need 685 ml. So we have here 500, roughly below 200 ml. All right. Again, when measuring liquid, make sure the surface is flat. Okay. Now we have the second container, and this is now our magnesium sulfate. 120 grams on a 685 ml of water. Now again, reminder, labeling is really important to avoid confusion. Okay? So set this one aside. Now we're going to measure the calcium nitrate. For calcium nitrate, we need to have 240 grams on a 635 ml of water. Again, labeling. Okay? Calcium nitrate. $240 grams. Oops. Now, to avoid contamination, I need to clean it properly. I choose this one because Epsom salts are, see, chunkier materials inside other than the masoben. So we need to remove. We only need 240 grams. That's it. Now, our paper funnel. Now, each time I measure those materials, I need to clean this container because I only have one container and clean it properly and remove the materials that have been using it before. Simple like that. You don't need a fancy thing. Now labeling. Well, the next time you would do this, you know how important to buy a proper tools. In any job, it's really important to have a proper tools. Because an ordinary people like us who wants to experience this. So sometimes it's not available and you need to find a solution to solve the problem. Apologize for the sound. My system kicks on. My hydroponic system is running right now. It's pumping nutrients to the garden. So we need to do it gently to avoid clogging. A few more, and that's it. We're in. Okay. And again, we need to have 635 ml of water. That's 500 ml. First thing first is to dissolve the nutrient first. You could hear the sound now changes. It means to say the calcium nitrate has already been dissolved. So we could add now the rest of the water. Okay, 635, 500 is already in. So we need to add again roughly below the 150 ml. Apologize for the sound. Always measure and put your measurement cup on the flat surface to have a accurate reading. See? Again. Stable first. Yeah. There we go. There we are. So this is the last one. finished one. So, master blend. This is the master blend. And this is the color of the master blend. And it should be properly, each one should be properly dissolved. As you can see, you still see some material not properly dissolved. When you do your mixing on your reservoir, you need to shake it again and make sure everything is being dissolved. Okay, so part 1. Your part 2 is your Epsom salt, which is this guy. And yeah, you see it's already been dissolved. And your part 3, or your calcium nitrate, which is this one here. So proper labeling is really important to avoid confusion, especially if you have the same container like this two. See, same look, same container. Labeling is really important. Okay, so we're playing here accuracy of measuring the solution. Okay, so yeah, those are your simple steps in making your own nutrient solution using Gecko Master Blend 8-15-36. Right, next video I'm going to show you how to mix it on a reservoir. So let me show you my system right now, which the noise came from. See, that's my reservoir. That's a tomato, a bell pepper, and my cabbage. See the result of the material I'm using. Right? The next video I'm going to be showing you how to mix the solution that what we are preparing right now into a reservoir. Alright, hope you like the video. Please click subscribe, or write any comment if you have, or for me to learn also. I'm a beginner. I'm just showing you what it's like to be a beginner hydroponic farmer. Alright, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.